Hi and welcome to this guide to OBS. OBS is a free open source package for screen audio recording and live streaming. It works on Macs and PCs and is useful for capturing any activity on your screen, such as Skype, Zoom or MS Teams meetings, but also any online video you may need to record. However, note that it's also worth getting to grips with OBS because it's a fairly straightforward way to live stream with multiple media sources. We'll deal with the screen recording only here and leave live streaming to another time. So to start, a quick guide to setting it up before recording video that you will use in your video projects. Once you've installed it, you need to set up four main items. 1. The screen you want to record. 2. The format of video you want to record. 3. The audio sources you want to record. And 4. The output settings for your recordings. Starting with the screen, and you might have a single screen and so that should be fairly straightforward, but I'm going to select one of two screens available here. If your screen isn't automatically set up, then in the sources pane hit plus to add an item and choose display capture. Give it a name, something like main screen, or in my case LG 1920 by 1080p, and hit OK. Now for the format of video you wish to capture, hit settings and video. Since your video project should be UK high definition, which is 1920 by 1080, choose as close to that as you can for the base and the output. Also important is to set the frame rate to 25 frames a second. Next, audio. Set the sample rate to 48 kHz and channels to stereo. With the desktop audio, you want to use the standard sound device you are using for your audio, and in my case, my mic audio is coming in from a Focusrite input device. But if you're using a laptop, you should have the choice here of the onboard mic. And finally, the output. You should choose the advanced output mode here, and now don't forget to switch to the recording settings before amending things. It's a very good idea to set a dedicated folder for your OBS recordings here. For the recording format, I personally prefer MP4 files to bring into Premiere. And I'm going to ensure that I have two channels checked here, one for the desktop audio and one for the microphone. In fact, what OBS calls audio track 1 here is a stereo pair for my desktop audio, and audio track 2 is another stereo pair for my microphone, which we'll see in Premiere in a moment. Now, click on audio, and I want the best possible audio quality, so I'm choosing a bitrate of 320 for both my audio tracks that I'm using. After I click on the settings wheel from one of the audio streams, you can see that I am sending my desktop audio to the first stereo pair here, and that my mic is going to the second stereo pair here. Now a test recording, so I hit start recording and switch to what I want to capture, and let's maximize this to get a few seconds of it.
These poses need to be exactly right because they're recreations of masterpieces. For over a month, Molly O'Cahan has been using her parents as models to reenact famous artworks. She shares their daily efforts on social media, entitling them Parental Pandemic Portraits.
I got the idea from a tweet from the Rijksmuseum in Amsterdam, and we started on day one with American Gothic. I'd gotten stuck in Dublin.
And now I'll stop the recording in OBS and bring it into Premiere. And you can see if I drag it onto the timeline that I have a stereo channel of desktop audio plus a separate stereo track for my microphone. So that's almost it, other than to say that if you're on a Mac and have trouble recording audio, then check out my very brief guide to using Soundflower on the Mac. So good luck with using OBS.